My name is Fatima Hajji, and I work as a doctor in Salmania Medical Center in the medical department. My specialty is in rheumatology. I just love the thing, I love medicine, reading it, doing it, teaching it. So it's my whole life as a emergency. So I was in charge of assigning doctors, of myself I was doing it, and was assigned of doing the disaster plan with the disaster team in cooperation with the management. But they all just, at the end they said that, we were trying to take the control over, take the hospital, and we made we were trying to control the hospital. But basically the whole plan was by them. I was working under, I was taking my orders directly from the head of the unit, head of the department, plus the AUH, plus the CEO, the deputy CEO of the hospital, as basically, chief of medical staff. They were with me. I was talking to them. They were telling me, "Thank you, Fatima. We appreciate your help. We want you to do this," and I go and do it. "We want you to put these people here and there." I was taking my orders from them. And then all of a sudden, they don't know me. My father passed away 3 years back, so it's only my mother, and we are the whole, my mother is alone. She doesn't have a family, so her kids are her life. And imagine I was like all of a sudden kidnapped. Somebody came and told her, "Your daughter was kidnapped from her house last night." I was like, well, later on I knew all about this because I did not know at the beginning when I was released. I was like, I was worried about her. I was not worried about what's gonna happen to me. I said, like, okay, even they killed me, it's fine. But I was worried about my mother, my husband, and my son. My mother, I think she went insane. She was crying. She did not eat for the first 1 week or drink. She got really sick. She already has some medical problems. I was really worried about her. He was shocked when I was released. It was just when the first moment he saw me, it's like he was looking, then he turned away. He did not recognize it was me. Then he looked back and was looking at me like this. He stood for a few minutes just looking at me like this, and then he came and hugged me and was crying, and I was crying. He's always afraid that I will disappear again. He has this in his mind. So even going to the toilet, have a shower by my own self, I can't lock the door because all of a sudden he goes there and cries, and he will go and run all over the place and look for me. He is always scared, especially when it's night. He hates this place because here when the guys, the men with the guns, with the mask face, they were standing in this place. So whenever we sit in this place, in this room, he would always tell me, "Mama, there are men, there are monsters outside." It's like, no, and I have always to keep the lights on, but he always see them. He could tell this day, he always sees them, like, "Mama, there are monsters. I have to hug him, and his father, he comes, we have to hug him, both of us. Mama, it's only me and your father, nobody else. No, but there are monsters, and there are bad guys, they will take you." He still has this idea in his brain. So if the case is, goes with years, I'll be sitting without salary, without job for years. And I went once and tried to work as a waiter at Costa, and the manager there, he said, "Please try to avoid putting us in the front line in the fire line with the government." So we can't, because officially I cannot work at anywhere else because I'm still an employee of Ministry of Health. So even working as a waitress is a big deal for me. Basically, I can't do anything else. I'm just sitting, waiting for my destiny. In general, in the beginning, I was surprised that the Commission did really acknowledge the fact that lots of torture and mistreatment in jails and during arrest happened. And they came in a very detailed, the way of the torture. They used the word like threatened of kill and rape and few cases of rape. I was, surprised that they really acknowledge all of that. And I felt like, because they were always accusing me whenever I was said, like they threatened to rape me and I was sexually harassed and etc. It was like, you always fabricating this stuff. But I was glad that, the report really acknowledged the facts, not only me and the others. It did not really, directly show who was responsible about all of that. When it goes to the medic case, I felt like, something is wrong about the report, the way it was written. It's like I took myself out, as I'm not part of the medics. As like, let's say if I'm an American citizen who works in as a banker, and I take this part and I read it. It's like, man, why you're, it's like this party said that, the government says the medics did this, and the medics states that. The government says this and the medic says that. It's like, man, I did not pay you God knows how many fortune to tell me this say that and this already it's all out. I wanted the truth. What really happened at Salmaniya? Sometimes he said, like, we strongly believe. What do you mean that you strongly believe? I don't want to know your opinion. I want the fact. What really happened? Then he goes, sometimes he said that we did not find a very strong evidence with this, and then again in his conclusion he bring up this point again. Why? He was playing around with it a lot. I would really thank every single person who was in solidarity with our case.